Hi everybody, it's Jessica from Chambray Blues. I'm back with the last step, or second to last step, in the process of making our spinning wheels quilt. This is a kit from Riley Blake Designs and Cricut. The Cricut is used to cut all the pieces and then we stitch it all together. And we're on the quilting sandwich step. So what that is you lay the quilt top after it's sewn together and pressed. You lay it out on the floor with your backing. This is just a muslin backing that I'm using. And then you put down the micro or polyfiber fill stuffing and then the quilt top, and it's pinned together at different intervals to hold it. You can also use spray basting product if you like. But the next step is to start quilting, and it is possible to quilt this size on a regular sewing machine because it's rather small. So what we have to do though is start by quilting in the middle. So you want to quilt from the center out and from top to bottom, and then you're going to go back from bottom to top, and then we're going to go left to right and right to left. So you want to kind of quilt evenly different directions so that it doesn't get stretched too much in any one direction. So this is how it works. We're going to put it under the needle here. All 3 layers. And I need to get over to the center where I'm going to start stitching. So I'm going to pull it towards me. You definitely need a big table for this. And then I'm going to roll it up underneath the arm of the sewing machine. You're going to want to roll it pretty tight. So you want to make sure that the layers are smooth before you start doing all this, because it's easy to get wrinkles in the back part of the quilt if you're not paying attention. Keep going a little further here. Pink. Go over one more block. Alright, I think this is about where I'm going to start stitching. I'm going to use the regular presser foot. You can do a free motion design if you prefer. I'm just going to channel stitch, which means it's a straight stitch from the bottom, the top of the quilt to the bottom, just straight rows that are going to fit into the quilt pattern that we already have. And to hold this in place, I have these big, they're kind of like paper clips, but they're made for quilting. These big things will kind of hold the roll in place while I'm working on it. Put the other one in here. Okay. So my machining is set with a 3.2 stitch length for this. Might have to go even a little bit longer stitch length depending on how thick your quilt is. And I'm just going to sew straight down, a stitch in the ditch technique, where I'm just sewing along the 2 pieces of every square right down the middle of the quilt. Once you get far enough along, you can check the back of the quilt to make sure everything is smooth and straight the way it's supposed to be. trim my threads at the end, but this one's right in my way, so I'll get rid of it. Make sure and use 100% cotton quilting thread when you do the quilting. It is much better quality than your regular thread. Also, I'm using a size 16 quilting needle. It's important to use a new needle when you start quilting. Stopping my stitching right at the end of the design. You can quilt the border in a different manner if you choose. You can go the other direction to follow the seam lines, or you could do like a free motion stippling along here if you wanted to do that. I am just going to stop right here and just bind the edges. And that will be enough to hold it in this case. So I'm going to clip my threads, top and bottom, and pull it out from under the needle. And hopefully you can see what it looks like. There it is on the back. You can see my first row of stitching all the way across the quilt. So I'm going to do the same thing for each row in my design. So that was here. The next row I'm going to do will be over here, and I'm going to go from this edge to that edge. Repeat it for every single row, and then go back and do the same thing as a cross stitch. So that's going to take some time, and I will post pictures on my Facebook page, Chambray Blues, when I'm finished, so that you can see the finished product. We'll talk about binding in my next video, how to bind and finish the edges of the quilt. Thanks, you have a good day.